Yeah, the still pictures of this, what we're about to talk about, are dramatic. Okay, here we go.
You're talking about the final escaped inmate, 18-year-old Amin Hurst, back in custody after a 10-day manhunt.
Yeah, there's Hurst there on the left. And 24-year-old Nasir Grant on the right, who was captured earlier, escaped from the Philadelphia prison, gosh, it was 10 days ago now, through a hole in the fence. So Hurst was serving time for the murders of 4 people. He's only 18 years old. So officers, look at this boxed in. They boxed in that white SUV in West Philadelphia yesterday. In fact, yesterday during our show. So they also took into custody his 24-year-old brother. His name is Amir. And he's facing charges now for, I guess, helping him stay on the loose.
So we could start to see more charges come down because the investigation is continuing, of course. We have security consultant and retired Pennsylvania State Police Sergeant Bill Latorre. And we were talking with you right when this first happened, when both of them were still out there. What are your thoughts now that we have both of them in custody? We've learned a little bit more about how they were able to get them.
Well, you know, phase 1 of this operation basically is to take the escapees back into custody, right? Because public safety, that's the first concern. That's the primary concern. Now that they've addressed the public safety risk, the next phase is going to be to continue the investigation. And there's a lot of paperwork. When I say paperwork, there's probably going to be more additional charges coming out for additional people that were involved in this, that perhaps law enforcement was surveilling, and things like that. So there's a lot more work that's coming. And so when the district attorney's office says that there's an ongoing investigation, certainly those are probably going to produce some additional results.
The brother's mother was in that car too, but she's not charged.
Yeah, so, you know, there's a difference between, like, let's just say, and again, when people escape from prison, you know, they rely on known associates to assist them. And when it's family, like, they're put in a no-win situation.
Right.
So it's like you have a choice to either help your relative and involve yourself in exposure to criminal charges, or you can say no, or you basically turn them in. And in this case, some may have decided to basically just turn a blind eye, or there's a difference between letting your son stay in your house versus putting him in the car and driving around town and getting money and food for him and aiding and abetting him. And so in this particular case, there's probably more conduct on the people that were charged as opposed to the passive conduct of those that were having contact with them.
Wow.
And as we learn more, too, about that process of getting Amin and finding him, because at first they were giving him the opportunity to turn himself in. 3 times we've learned. And when I see people's reaction, I'm thinking, wow, they gave him 3 chances.
3 chances.
Is that normal, or?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, like the supervisory deputy said for the Marshals Task Force, you know, they credit themselves with having no violence involved in the capture of both escapees and the people that were assisting them. But in this case, when you negotiate with that family, you're establishing a line of communication. Sometimes escapees may feel that they don't have options. And by establishing that line of communication, law enforcement is giving them options, peaceful options, you know, to go ahead and come back in the compliance with what they need.
I understand that completely, yeah.
Sure.
And the fact that both of them were captured without any, you know.
Right, we're going to do this peacefully.
Right.
But then when you don't hold up your end of the bargain of turning yourself in, we're going to have to do it physically.
Right, so you kind of force that hand, no pun intended. So when they miss the deadlines to turn themselves in, you know, it's a smart play. Like, you see him, you got him, bird in hand beats 2 in the bush, right? So you're going to make that instant decision. I can contain him right here. I can box him in. I have the resources to do it. I have him in my sight. Like, it was a smart play to take him into custody at that point.
So can we show that footage again of them taking them into custody? So they are boxed in by U.S. Marshals vehicles, front, back, and both sides. See this car going in the opposite direction down the street?
Right. Now, if you were to try and follow him to the police department, at any moment, Hurst could have decided, nope, I changed my mind.
Right.
Bailed out the car door, and now he's fleeing through the city, and you lose containment.
And they're all unmarked vehicles,
Right.
no police cars.
Right.
Well, they're police cars, but they're...
You can't tell.
You can't tell. Yeah.
Right.
Wow, what a procedure. U.S. Marshals doing the thing.
Yeah, I mean, as the deputy said, you know, we weren't playing. And you know, you got to take him at his word, because in this case, they did file a lot of charges and took people into custody. And I'm sure they did a lot of work reaching out into the other states as well to cut off those avenues, you know?
That he was in New York for a little bit, then came back. So I'm sure more information will come out.